Second Cup, brought to you by the Nickel Plate. Sit, sip, savor, and shop.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. 8 o'clock on the start of your Wednesday. Glad you're with us to start the day and glad that you're able to spend a couple minutes with us chatting about some of the top stories, hot topics, and other nonsense that we bring up.
Happy Second Cup. 8 o'clock. Grab your cuppy mug. Put your favorite cocktail in it. Probably it's coffee right now.
Can we talk about how cute these are? These Cuppy Love mugs. If you are a Cuppy and you want one of these, head to the Nickel Plate because they are on Clinton Street rather. They are sponsoring us and they want you to have one of these adorable Cuppy mugs. You got to go there, tell them you're a Cuppy, and then take a picture.
If you take a picture, then we want you to send it to us because they're so darn cute. We love sharing them. Okay, so we got a bunch of things to talk about, but first we've got a special guest this morning because today is a big day.
A special guest.
Can you hardly believe right now that football season is like starting? Training camp starts today. So Beauvais been on the road this morning already.
So let's bring in our 7 sports director, Matthew.
He used to be our morning reporter years and years ago.
Remember how he was a baby?
He was just a baby Beauvais.
Oh, he was just a baby
Beauvais when you were our morning reporter. You're a big boy now.
Yeah, you know what I was just thinking about this morning because I was thinking of coming on with you guys. So I call Ed Edward. So I know Minkowski does also. Katie, is your real name Catherine or is it Katie? Is it Catherine? Okay, so yep. I'm gonna call you Edward and Catherine now. Now that I feel like now that I'm distinguished enough and that we're all old enough, I can get away. I couldn't do that 10 years ago when I was on the morning show with you guys. You had to be like, excuse me, Mr. Drange. But now, none of that really flies anymore. No way.
You can call me Miss Morse.
The school marm.
Beauvais, what's going on out there at training camp?
Well, I just got here. I just checked into my dorm. When I say check into my dorm, it's not that official. They hand you a key, you walk in. There are 2 twin-size mats in there. There is a small desk that you can work on. I have the basics with me, so I am ready to move in here for the next couple weeks. First practice today starts at 9:45. The first press conference at 9:15. This is the first day of, it's like basically the first day of school, but just as far as the Bill season is concerned, first time you get to see some of the new guys, first time you hear from some of the new coaches. We'll hear from Josh Allen today. Last year, so a year ago today, everybody was thinking about all of the drama with Stefon Diggs. Like, would Stefon Diggs talk today? What was going to happen with Stefon Diggs? We don't have any of that drama anymore. There are a lot of questions as far as the season is concerned, but no drama. This is much chiller than it has been in years past.
Hey, I have 2 questions for you.
Yeah.
Number 1, you're moving in there for the next couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. What happens to the baby? What does Andrea do?
Well, I already got a text like a half an hour ago, and it's like, the baby is a menace this morning. Why do this to me, basically? So the baby, right now, I say I move in, but that's a little bit of a stretch. I'm fibbing a little bit. I'll be here tonight. I'll be here Thursday night. Then on Friday, I'll come home kind of for the weekend. Then they don't practice again until Sunday. So I can get back and forth. The problem is, like, today, we'll go on TV at 5 o'clock, at 6 o'clock in the evening. By the time we're done at 6:30, it doesn't make sense to get back in the car, drive home, get home at 8 o'clock, and then wake up and come back at 6 a.m. the next morning. So the baby is just going to have to behave for her mother, but we'll see if that ultimately ends up happening.
And that's what they always do when you tell them to behave. Right off the bat, they're like, I got this. No problem,
yes, Dad.
Yes, Dad.
Okay.
Baby, go ahead. Sorry, Ed.
So I was going to ask, Connie's wondering how old the baby is now.
The baby is, I'm going to give you the real answer here, but it annoys me when people do this. The baby is 17 months old. I would just say the baby's a little more than a year old or a year and a half. But my wife has told me, like, there is a very clear difference in development from like 12 months to 17 months to 24 months. So the baby is 17 months old. But in my head, I would just be like, oh, yeah, she's like a little older than 1.
One quick follow-up question just before we move on to actual football. What is the coolest new thing the baby's been doing lately?
Okay, so there's a couple. Right now, her favorite food is a banana, but she does not know how to say banana as a 17-month-old, but she says manya. So she points to banana and she goes, manya, manya.
That's
and
adorable.
That means she wants the banana. Also, if we ask her what her name is Elia. If we're like, can you say your name? She points at herself with a big smile and she goes, me, but she doesn't understand that her name is Elia, but she just points at herself and goes, me, and it's super cute.
She's super cute.
That is adorable.
Advanced, love
you
it.
You have the cutest family. We are so happy for you.
Okay, did you have a legitimate
I did have a legitimate
football-related question?
Okay, so I am so excited to see Keon Coleman. Everyone is hyped about him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like got the best off-season personality. Once we get into the season, can we expect to see him on the field?
Yes, you can. And what he needs to do these next couple weeks is earn Josh Allen's trust, because they have so many targets that they need to figure out. Now, targets basically mean when Josh Allen is throwing the ball, where is he throwing it to? For the last several years, most of those targets have gone to two places. They've gone to Stephon Diggs and they've gone to Gabe Davis. Well, both of those guys are gone. So somebody is going to need to take on a bigger role. Chances are Keon Coleman is going to be one of those guys. The other players you need to watch out for, Curtis Samuel. He came over from Washington. He's a veteran, but he's got a lot of experience in the league. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. It's a mouthful. You can call him MVS. He has won back-to-back Super Bowls with the Kansas City Chiefs. So, yeah, I think it's fair to assume that Keon Coleman is the front runner to kind of take on the biggest workload of the new additions. But we also have to temper expectations. He is a rookie. He's not going to put up numbers like Stephon Diggs did. He's not going to score as many touchdowns, but he's going to be on the field a lot. And, you know, that's what comes with being a high draft pick. And he's got the personality to back it up and build a fan base.
Oh my God, I know. He's a complete trip. He's been so fun when he was in all the different press conferences and things like that. All right, Bove, so we're going to keep our eyes on him and see what we expect to see as a receiver for this season. How about the fans that are coming out there? Are people making their way? When can they get in? And what do you expect to see as far as fan interaction with the guys today?
Well, the first day is always a big fan day because, you know, there's just so much excitement. There's so much enjoyment. It hits a lull a little bit in the middle just because I think these guys feel it after a while of like, okay, you know, they practice in the morning, they have meetings in the afternoon, then they work out, then they do a walkthrough in the evening. They're pretty long days for them. But no, today is absolutely the first day and the last day are the days where the fans absolutely get spoiled the most by the guys who are willing to sign autographs, who are willing to take pictures. So, yeah, I'm sure it's going to be full every day. And that's not nothing new. That's not like just a this year thing. Even when the team wasn't very good, training camp was full every day. But like I can tell you just from family and friends standpoint, a lot of people tried to get tickets and couldn't get tickets because they are in such high demand. I mean, it's not like they can fit 10,000 people here. It's a couple thousand people, and then they do it all again the next day. So it'll be a great turnout today, and it'll be a great turnout really every day because this community just cannot get enough of this team.
That gets those guys going too.
Absolutely. The music is playing. It's like a party atmosphere. Okay, Matt, two more things. Number one, in your professional opinion,
sure,
would this be a preview as to what we can expect in the entire season? In other words, hitting targets, gaining trust, high performance. Is this something that would say to you, like, this is going to be a Super Bowl team?
Sure, absolutely. It starts now. It starts now because you need to see how these new guys are going to gel with the current players that they have on their team. But as far as expectations are concerned, I still very much think that this team has what it takes to win a Super Bowl. Now, there's a difference between having what it takes to win a Super Bowl and ultimately winning one. I think they've had what it takes to win a Super Bowl for the last several years, but they've had different mistakes and different things that have popped up that have been the roadblock for them ultimately getting to where they're trying to go. But my expectations don't change. And training camp really is like the first time you can see these guys go live and, you know, hit each other and actually go full speed. None of that stuff really happens in the offseason. The first couple days of this, they won't even have pads on. They'll just come out in jerseys and shorts, and they'll just be kind of like practicing without hitting each other. And then the first big thing that they do is, okay, we're putting on pads. And then at that point, it becomes football. And the most important thing is, like, let's make sure that nobody gets injured because this is still just training camp. But at the same time, you need to get those reps in because you need to be ready to go when the season starts, which is on September 8th. 1 o'clock at home against the Arizona Cardinals. I think I have the entire schedule memorized right now.
Brad, I love a 1 o'clock game.
I think I got every date, every time, every location, all in the back of the memory. We're ready to go.
Okay. Real quick before Ed asks his question, let's get Marguerite's in because maybe you can shed a little light on how training camp works here. She's wondering if the players get to go out and about in Rochester during the evenings.
Sometimes they do. It depends on what they have the next day, what time practice is the next day. There are so many places that you can go and hang out in Rochester, and occasionally you'll be out to dinner, and then you'll look across the table and you'll see a couple of the other Bills guys that are out to dinner. But most of the stuff they do internally, like these are grown men, but let's also remember that they're not. They are basically
Right.
So what happens in the dorm, like the door, it's hard to see behind me. In the dorms behind me over here, they have their video games, they have cards, they have movies. Like a lot of them will literally like work the entire day, and then they'll play video games with each other or play cards with each other, go out to get something to eat in the dining hall here, and then just do it again the next day. So sometimes we see them, but most of them stay here. And then especially the guys with the family, if they have an off day, you see pickup trucks going out of this parking lot at like 60 miles an hour so they can get back to Buffalo and at least spend the day with their family.
Yeah.
So, I mean, here in Buffalo, I've seen Dawson Knox at Giancarlo's a couple of times, which is super cool.
I've seen a couple people out at Vice.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, here's my second question, and I feel like this is the buried lead. Can we talk about the hard launch between Josh and Haley?
We talked about it in the office yesterday because it took the office by storm. It took the Instagram world by storm. I just recently learned the difference between a hard launch and a soft launch. This is coming from somebody who's now been married 5 years and been with the same person for like 10. So I didn't know what the terminology meant, but it's always been known that Josh and Haley have dated for the last year. Everybody has known that. But they've never like publicly shown it or commented on it until yesterday, which has to be calculated. Like Josh Allen can't get asked this question at a press conference because there are much more important things to be asking him. But part of me would love to be off to the side, be like, so what goes into this? Is this like a publicist decision? Is this like a, okay, let's finally acknowledge this decision? Is this, like there's a lot that goes into it. This is all like really interesting to me.
Okay, there is
Come
no
on.
way someone's not going to ask him about
Right, how
Haley.
can you not ask that question? Send the news guys.
I'm just saying, you get Ed in there, like he'd get his first question in, and that's what it is. Like, thanks, Ed.
It's always funny because these events in particular always bring together like people who cover sports for a living and then people who cover like the general fan side of things. So when we're sitting there, like you'll have a question from like a writer who will be like, why isn't this team using 12 personnel on third down more? Which to like a common fan would be like, what in the world did they just say? And then the next question could be like, are you going to get ice cream this weekend? And it's how you see. So he'll probably get asked about it today. I'm sure. One of the things that I saw a lot of people asking is like, does Haley come to Bills games? Yes, she has come to several Bills games. It's just like she doesn't like need like, obviously she's not Taylor Swift. She doesn't need like the Taylor Swift treatment of like getting like snuck into the stadium. But no, she has come to like several. And I think she just is like really low key. She just like puts on Bills gear and like a big coat and then just like walks in. And because when you're in 3 layers and you have a hat on, nobody can tell who you are anyway.
Yeah,
You mean
we
she
always
doesn't
like
make
movie stars.
She doesn't make a big scene about it with with high boots, short skirts, and a lot of
Listen,
I'm not.
I think.
fanfare.
Are you hating? You're hating?
Yeah, don't be hating on anybody. Listen. She's a cutie patootie. I think they're adorable together. Good
I'm
for
not
them.
talking about Taylor Swift.
We know.
Oh,
love Taylor
okay, I gotcha. That went over my head for a
Taylor
second.
Swift too.
Now I got
You
it.
know,
And I'm just, I
we're
got
here.
it. We're just going to do this thing, and I'm not going to comment any further.
It's all good. A couple people are asking about the Josh and Haley thing. Yeah, they posted. If you didn't see it, they posted pictures on Instagram yesterday. Josh posted pictures, and she was in them.
It was adorable.
Yeah, very cute.
Yeah.
In front of the Eiffel Tower, no less.
The like
Gorgeous.
one of the pictures I've also learned these are called photo dumps when you just throw a bunch of photos on Instagram. One of the pictures was his split pants, which for the Josh Allen, Haley Steinfeld fans out there was some controversy because when they were in Paris, Josh did not wait for her when he got out of the car. And this was all caught on camera. And a lot of people were like, how rude of this guy to get out of the car before his girl and scurry inside without like grabbing her arm. Well, he did it because he ripped his pants. And then he posted a picture of his ripped pants on Instagram. So
That's cute. It's funny because they follow along with all this stuff. Like they know, the conversation that's going on. And so it's a clever post.
Josh is different because he's a superstar. Like there are so many people talking about Josh Allen. They say, we don't hear the noise. We don't pay attention to any of it. some of it is such nonsense. Like these guys are searching themselves on Twitter, on Instagram. They're Googling themselves. They're trying to figure out what people are saying about them. One of the things that I always liked about Kyle Oposo, who used to be the Sabres captain, who's a big fan of you guys, by the way, Kyle used to say, I would read whatever anybody said about me. He's like, I wanted to know. Why would I say that, like, I'm better than that? He's like, it's human nature. If somebody's talking about you, you want to know what they're saying. I feel the same way. It's like if somebody comments like, hey, this Matt Beauvais guy stinks, I usually see it. I don't always respond to it, but I usually see it. I think that that's like totally okay to like seek that stuff and pay attention to that stuff.
We always tell people don't read the comments. But yeah, here we are.
It's for your mental health.
Exactly. Listen, Matt Beauvais, have so much fun at training camp. We appreciate
thanks
you.
for joining us.
Thank you, guys. And I apologize just from like a video standpoint that I've got the black wings on the side of the camera here, but I'm in this awkward angle where if I would have flipped the camera this way and like it flips, I would have had to hold it the whole time. And there's like no headroom. So I just said like, hey, whatever, I can get away with this. So I'm sorry it doesn't look as clean as I would normally like to make it look, but hey, you know, I get along.
We'll forgive you.
So we're still waking up a little bit.
Beauvais, we love you. We're so glad that you're with us. Have a great time at training camp, and we'll look for your reporting.
Yeah,
on
Beauvais,
WTV
be the
all
guy
time.
to ask the question, okay?
Oh, what do I get? what can you guys give me if I do it? I need some incentive.
More airtime.
For that reason, I'm out.
Beauvais, thanks, Beauvais.
We'll see you, Beauvais.
Yeah.
He is so funny, and you could banter with him.
Can we just talk about how much he's changed over the years?
Oh my God, he's hysterical.
Because when he first started, how old was he? 23 or 24?
He was a baby.
And oh my God, he was a morning news reporter, and then he's just like gained so much confidence over the years.
And rightly so. I mean,
Yeah.
he's smart.
it's a
he's
good
talented.
thing, especially if he's going to be doing what he's doing. So.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about this because I think this is something common for all of us, the 5-second rule.
Yeah, if you drop something.
Do you pick it up and eat it, or do you throw it out?
And be honest, like you drop something on your kitchen floor, do you pick it up and eat it?
Yes.
Okay, it's going to depend on what it is. I'll start by saying it
Okay,
depends
fair.
on what it is.
Like if it's a slice of cheese,
If
you're
it's
probably
one of
throwing
these,
it out.
we had a snack here before. If it's one of these little, what are these called?
Fruit Loops, yeah.
If it's a Fruit Loop, yes. If it's a piece of watermelon that's like, juicy and so, no.
Would you wash it off?
No.
Okay,
I would just
you
toss
just
it.
throw it
I
out.
would feed it to Bandit.
Okay.
But something like this, absolutely no problem.
Yeah, me neither. Lauren says depends where it is. Not in a restaurant, but at home always.
Okay.
Melly says it doesn't matter what it is, you eat it. Sean says most of the time, no. We have 2 cats and 2 dogs. Okay, so that was my thought. Like if you've got that liquidy watermelon thing, do you wash off all like the hair and the dust from the kitchen floor?
I'm not
do you just eat
eating.
it?
I'm not eating it, but like I would let the dog eat it. But like I told Ed the other day, I went to open this bottle of pills and it went, you know, how you just have one of those moments and I'm like, I don't even know how I did that. I think I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then it was ever. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to throw out all these pills. So I just
No.
picked them up and gave them a little dust and tossed them back in the thing.
That's a different story.
What are you going to do?
You're
know?
just swallowing it anyway, right?
Get the germs right down in there.
Yeah,
Don't
fine.
even chew them.
Georgina says, throw it out. Gross. I mean, my floor, you definitely could eat it off of, but yeah, not sure. Sarah says that's what dogs are for. Kim says,
That's
if
true.
I like it on my floors are clean. Not really. I'll throw it out. Paula says, depends where I am. My kitchen floor. When was the last time I washed it in public? Not a chance.
How about this? Okay, let's get outside of the kitchen. How about you drop something outside? You drop something on the ground.
Okay, so let me tell you a story.
Are you eating it?
This is a funny story. So Emmys, New York City, 2023. It was a long night.
It was a long night.
It was a long night. And so here I am walking alone back to my hotel room after the after party. Had a couple of cocktails.
After the party. It's the after party.
Correct, thank you. And it's the hotel lobby.
Uh-huh.
So I bought a piece of pizza from the 99-cent shop on one of the corners in New York City. You know, I love the city. It's like a second home. And I dropped it by mistake on the sidewalk in New York City.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, you know what? I don't care.
I grew up here in New York. I've already got these germs.
So I picked it up and ate it like a real bum.
Like a real New Yorker.
And so after that, I'm thinking about this. I'm like, you know what? Now I need a dirty water dog. So I got a hot dog and the rest is history. I'm
And
still
that
kicking.
killed the rest of the
Right,
germs that you had
exactly.
ingested. So Danielle said she would never eat anything that fell on the ground outside. I would. I feel like if I was outside eating and I'm eating, let's say, I don't know, chips, something I love, and I dropped a chip on the grass, I'd pick that up and eat
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
Is that gross? I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's not like, okay, in the pizza story, it's not like it fell sauce side down. It fell like crust side down. So I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, no, it's better.
you know what I mean? Like, it's not like the sauce picked up all of that other stuff.
I'm not sure I do that just because I am a germaphobe.
Yes.
And all I could think about would be like, I'm not going to say what I think about.
Who knows what happened on the streets in New
there's
York City?
definitely a lot on that street. So I probably wouldn't do that. But like if I drop something on the grass, like chances are I'd pick it up and eat it.
How come my mom never heard that story? I had zero inhibitions at
Jan,
that point.
because did you want to? None of us wanted to. My mom and somebody else echoing. So my grandma always used to say this: you got to eat a pound of dirt before you die. She would just always say that. You drop something, and should I got to eat a pound of dirt before you die?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it happens,
And
right?
that's what Diane says: got to eat a bushel of dirt before you die.
That's why Ed never needs to take a sick day. Take note, he's immune to it all. That's funny.
Paula says there's actually a study that shows sidewalks have very few germs because the sunshine kills them.
Interesting.
That's interesting. I mean, you're still here with us, so I guess.
Still kicking, still rearing to go. I really, I could have gone back and gotten another slice, but at that point I was like, what's the point?
I'm moving on to a hot dog.
Exactly.
I don't know. I also think it probably is like how you were raised. Like, I think about like if I dropped an M&M on the floor, I'm eating that.
What about the dog? Do you let the dog kiss your face?
He gets a licking every now and then, but I'm not a big like put my face up and let him lick it nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
Paul doesn't care at all.
So I don't either.
You don't care at all. Bandit's licked your whole face.
Exactly.
He loves you.
Like Gladys, I'll pick up her little beard and give her a kiss on her little nose. And God knows where that nose has been,
Well, we know.
It's sniffing around on the grass where some other dog leaves his mark.
Greeting other dogs. We know how they greet each other.
Exactly. And here I am like,
I mean, I kiss Bandit's face on average about 70 times. So, like, whatever.
Nellie says dogs do have the cleanest mouths.
Uh,
I don't know. Carol says when my grandson was little, he would drop food, pick it up and eat it. Now he says germs.
oh my God, that's funny.
Lauren doesn't like when dogs lick her face, though Jennifer says, oh yeah, dog kisses all day.
Oh my God, my dad, the dog loves him for some unknown reason because
your dad hates him.
Not a big dog. He doesn't hate him, but he's never been a big dog guy. But like he'll be reading like let's say the paper, reading look at a book, and the dog just comes up to him and he sits there, and if he doesn't notice him, he licks his hand. And my dad goes, Kate, why is this dog licking me? Why is this dog licking my hand? I'm like, he loves you.
Oh my gosh, want to hear a funny story now about the dog? And Russell's going to kill me for telling you this. Do I want to tell the story? The dog always finds you in precarious positions, I think, is what I would say.
Okay.
So, like, you wake up, you got to go to the bathroom, and
Oh my God,
sometimes...
your dog does. My dog will just like walk in and be
Thank
like,
you.
"What's happening in here?" I'm like, "I'm taking a shower." He learned how to open the shower like sliding door to like. I'm like, okay.
And she will demand to be pet at that very moment. Like, you are on the throne, and she
Oh
wants to be pet.
well, this is her world. You're just living.
Exactly.
I'll tell you what, the first time my dog figured out how to open the shower door, I was shocked because he was in another room completely when I went to take a shower. So he let himself into the bathroom, just pushed the little door open, and then he stuck his head in and he whipped open the shower. And like I like turned around like, what the? And there's his little tiny face like looking at me.
I want to bring up Tanya's comment. Tanya, good morning to you. I think this is the first time we're hearing from you, and we certainly are glad to hear your voice here on Second Cup. With the remaining time that we have, I want you to kind of talk about what you found out about this woman.
Okay, so woke up and saw that this was shared all over everybody's Facebook page. So one of our producers called Kenmore Police overnight, and they told her she was found. So when I came in, I said, well, was she found safe, or the conditions, this and this? And so she wasn't sure. So I called again, just confirmed. And I talked to a dispatcher. She told me, yes, she's been found. I said, is she safe? They said, yes, she's safe. But they couldn't put out any official information until like a lieutenant or a captain came in, and they weren't working overnight.
So Tanya, we will post a link for you on WKBW.com. Obviously, here's the synopsis, but we obviously want to get more information from police.
I'll call over there and get more information as soon as I can. But from the person I spoke with at dispatch, that was all they could give me was that she was found and that she was safe, but no information about how, where, any of that.
So we'll keep you posted. Listen, we got to get back on TV. We're so glad you're with us for Second Cup. Glad you deal with our antics and just have a lot of fun with us. And we'll see you right back here tomorrow.